The irony here is, when I would write to the people in charge of federal standards in the writing of the MUTCD and the Uniform Vehicle Code, every time I'd bring a complaint up, the very next edition would eliminate that requirement. So they turned back every single traffic control to any city council, municipality, or whatever on their whim. And right now we have no standards of compliance whatsoever than the look and shape. And they've actually eliminated the enforcement value or the regulatory values posted on them. That's no longer based in fact either. So we have a complete system now to facilitate a cabal of federal regulators, insurance companies, and special interests that have been able to completely annihilate any factual foundations for what they're doing other than creating an enforcement empire that works on both sides. In fact, when I was drilling, primary guy that I had most conflict with was a guy named Ernest Huckabee. He was in charge of one side of the MUTCD. And I went to local state people who were supposed to be in charge. The fellow in Nevada says, I don't care if they change the speed limit signs to blue, we're not going to do anything. The guy in California said he was instructed to put any complaint or article on this to the bottom of his list and never get to it. Since 1995, not a single highway speed limit in California, Oregon, Nevada, Virginia, Ohio has been in compliance with federal law. None of them. Then on top of that, the number enforced, if it's not in compliance, and none of the courts are following the Uniform Vehicle Code, which is the primary mandate of the law, and it shall be considered by law in the statute. It's not being applied. Not only that, they disbanded the Uniform Vehicle Code Device Committee almost 15 years ago, where many states have the remnants in their laws. The legislatures passing the law don't even know it exists. So if we don't even know when the law is being passed by city council or a city government or somebody who claims to be anybody in adjudication. You got to remember, we have 80,000 entities that have police powers over roadways in the United States, and they're all supposed to be on a uniform system of expectation, adjudication, and equal protection. And there's over 4 million miles of road, and they've eliminated any uniformity whatsoever. How can you possibly be in compliance with anything? And how can the law enforcement people or the courts are absolutely incredulous at the thought that there's a federal law overseeing traffic control? And then all these states, some states have eliminated due process altogether and go to a lesser violation, which on its face would be in violation. Then the other states, when you complain about it or bring it up as an issue in court, like California or Nevada, you're not allowed to take a traffic case above the local court, which is the same judges in a separate room adjudicating that, and you're not allowed to take it to the Supreme Court. Or you got a state like Arizona where you're not even allowed to appeal it at all because it's not even it's an infraction, not a criminal violation. So even when the state is operating outside law everywhere, you cannot challenge it. It's absolutely crazy. What's more is when we took it to the Ninth Circuit, the Ninth Circuit in Oakland said, we don't want to get involved, and if you go on with this case, we're going to allow the state of California to charge you. At that point, it was $50,000 just to file the initial fee that we'd be exposed to by what the judge told us. And when we took it to Nevada, the state AG said that we're protected by the 11th Amendment. We can't sue the state for non-compliance of the laws, even though the laws we were non-compliant with were federal laws. But they were still saying we couldn't involve the state because the 11th Amendment protects them from their illegal practices. This needs serious addressing. We need to return back to the tenets of the Highway Safety Act of 1966, cause the people to comply, and more importantly, create a remedy in law to bring these people who have turned these traffic laws into predatory revenuing streams and have completely eliminated the primary object of the law was to make sure we had due process and best safety practices, which is virtually gone because of what the US DOT has done in this field.